And welcome again to Late Night Parents. This is Ted Hicks. I want to do a quick short-form podcast with Danny Thompson. He schooled me on a previous podcast that we recorded, talking short form about, whatever a specific hot topic is. Danny, how you doing?
Always a pleasure, Ted. Love coming on the podcast so I get invited.
Oh, come on, man. Knock it off. Knock it off. So Danny oversees and runs, directs, hosts for RandAssociation.com, and is the host of a Rand Association podcast, waiting patiently for the next iteration of the radio show. I know you got a lot of things you're working on, but I had wanted to talk with you about a rumor I heard, and the rumor is regarding WWE. So, we both love combat sports, whether it's boxing, UFC, wrestling, bare knuckles, all the above. We all know that Fox paid a boatload of money, $2.5 billion for a 5-year deal to the WWE to bring one of their properties, SmackDown Live, to Big Fox. Now, I heard a rumor this week. Rumor was that SmackDown, instead of going to Big Fox Network TV, that it could potentially slide to FS1. I know they're always looking for content, but would Fox really pay $2.5 billion for a property to come to their cable channel versus broadcast TV?
It better be a last resort, because that's the most expensive cable television show in the history of mankind. I think what the original deal is, of course, they want to be able to put the WWE on every single part of Fox platform. Think about it. The WWE is taking place of the UFC.
Yeah.
And they paid way more to the WWE than they paid Dana White, the UFC. So if you're going to make that type of investment, and if you be honest, now ESPN has done a phenomenal job. Fox was great with UFC, but so far ESPN has even exceeded my expectations compared to what Fox has done. But I can see, Fox and WWE creating additional content for FS1. For those who don't know, there was a great show on the WWE Network right after SmackDown called Talking Smack,
right,
which was a talk show of sorts, but it also was kind of like, if you watch the UFC shows, the post-fight for the UFC shows. So they went back and they talked to the people, the combatants of the show, and they talked about future storylines and future things, X, Y, and Z. And you can see something like that going on to FS1 at 10 o'clock on Friday night. Maybe you might see more WWE content itself. There's a show on the WWE Network which makes everybody watch every week, which is called NXT. It's its own brand per se, but you start to see guys from NXT on the main roster. That's where they've been getting a lot of the talent the last few years. You can see FS1 getting NXT. Or if you are following the Women's Revolution, maybe a women's show could end up over there on FS1, which would be much-watched television. So there's so many different things the WWE could use for content for Fox Sports 1. I just don't see them spending, like you said, Ted, $2.5 billion on just a cable show that you acquired that was on the USA Network. That would just be insane, because I can't remember what the deal with USA is, but I know it's not $2.5 billion. That would just be crazy for just a regular cable show.
Totally. And Danny, we like to talk ratings. We like to go to, and on our podcast, from time to time we talk ratings. These numbers are not generated totally out of the air. We go to showbuzzdaily.com, where the ratings are pushed up there for the world to see. So there's no secret sauce. There's none of that. showbuzzdaily.com. There you go. That's your plug. I heard the ratings had been totally in the tank, totally in the toilet for for Raw and or SmackDown on USA.
It has been. And I think a lot of it has been generated with the story writing. I think a lot of people, if you're really a true wrestling fan, it's the story writing of Raw, which is kind of, drag the show down. And the 3-hour format might not be working. I think 2 hours is a better format. But with so many different superstars, and it's not written as well as it is, it feels like if you're a WWE fan, they don't listen to the fans more than, than the people who are writing the checks and the higher-ups. So a lot of people don't watch Raw because, they have more star power. Your champion, which is Brock Lesnar, is there, but maybe 12 times a year. Maybe 12 times a year. And it's mostly on pay-per-views. So your champion's never there. And then you have guys who should be champions or should be contending for championships being stuck behind waiting on your current champion who never shows up. And SmackDown, which is actually a better show, it's playing the night after Raw, and it just seems like it's just so much. It could be overkill on back-to-back nights. Because think about it. If you have a pay-per-view on Sunday, you got Raw Monday and SmackDown Tuesday. You're kind of worn down. And even on the weekend, even the worst weekends when you have the NXT show on Saturday night. So you have 4 consecutive nights of primetime wrestling. So, and SmackDown is well written. I think it's a very good show, but there's not as many star-studded, inclined people on SmackDown as right now compared to Raw. So they have their challenges, but it's for different reasons.
So I gotta ask you this question: Becky Lynch, everyone loves her. The pop, she's gorgeous. She's this. She's the reincarnation of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Which show is she actually on? Because I see when I watch, she pops up on both shows. Is that by design?
Well, Ted, right now the situation for WrestleMania is, Becky won the Women's Royal Rumble. She decided that she wanted to choose Ronda Rousey. Well, Becky got suspended. It's supposed to be her suspension supposed to be lifted the day after WrestleMania, and Vince McMahon named Charlotte Flair as her replacement. The funny thing with Charlotte is that Charlotte's a SmackDown wrestler. So now with Becky having problems with Ronda and Charlotte, it allows Becky to go back and forth to each show, which makes it, it makes you start to watch it because you're trying to figure out which show she's going to appear on next.
Right. That's true. That is true. Okay. I got it. I've been hearing a lot about that guy. I forgot what his last name. Lars. What's his
Sullivan. Lars Sullivan.
Lars Sullivan. Is this the replacement for Brock Lesnar?
If they can figure out how to get past the issues he had off the camera with certain things he's done and said in the past, then potentially, I really think the next big thing is Drew McIntyre actually on the roster. He fits a lot of what the previous champions have had. Big guy, the great physique. He's a monster of the ring. He has that size. Braun Strowman is the same way. I think those are the guys before we get to Lars Sullivan. But if Lars can get out of his situation that he's in, away from the ring, then yeah, I think Sullivan's that guy because he's just a big, strong, big guy that has always been what you see as the WWE's champion for the most part.
Seeing, basically noticed that, what was it? A report came out yesterday, or it came out within the last 48 hours that D-Generation X is going to be enshrined. Huge pop for China. So what's the deal?
It's about time. And I think really, if they're going to induct China as part of D-Generation X, it's time to induct China on her own.
Right.
The only bad part is that, China's no longer here to be a part of that.
Right.
And, for whatever reason that the delay took, she should have been one of the original Hall of Famers at the very beginning. In the last few years, but for whatever reason, she was never inducted. I can't, I don't want to say X, Y, Z was the reason why, but it took her to this time, like the time to be to put in, and now she's in with Generation X, and I think it's time to put her in by herself. I think it would have been better for me, in my opinion, if she went before the Generation X, if that makes sense. But it's going to be great to see all the members of DXT, into the Hall of Fame. This will be Shawn's second time in the Hall of Fame. Triple H has not been elected yet. X-Pac has not been. Their New Age Outlaws have never been in the Hall of Fame. So it's great. It's going to be great to see all those guys together. It's just trying to not be here alive to see it and be part of it, was the main attraction of it. But, I love the Generation X. It's still one of the best stables that outside the Four Horsemen and the Shield, it gets no better. Nation domination too, so.
Final question for you, something to think on. When Vince moves away and goes to running all, of the XFL, which is going to be, right around the corner, who's going to, what is the chain of command?
I really think it goes through her son, Vince's son Stephanie and Triple H. Because I think what Triple H has done with the NXT brand, I think has given Vince the confidence to let him run the show. And run the show to the point where it's going to not just be sustainable, but to be able to combat everything that tries to challenge the WWE. Like I said, if you watch an NXT show, the 1 hour NXT television is better than the 5 hours on cable per week.
Gotcha.
That's just the difference.
Gotcha.
So, change leadership.
So, you don't think at any point Fox makes a grab for NXT to put it either on FS1 or Fox Sports Go, or
there has to be something with that. Like, it has to be something is got to give. There's got to be a second show coming somewhere, whether it be, like I said, be a women's show or the NXT brand itself, because it's just so much money Fox is giving to Vince McMahon, the WWE, for just one TV show. Just one. There has to be a second and potentially third show. I don't, and the one thing about the NXT show is that it's the main reason why a lot of people order the network. Like, if they probably took a poll of the reason why you keep the WWE network, I would say, Ted, and go on the limb and say 85 to 90% of the people watch it for NXT.
What are we talking about? Are we talking about like 2 million subscribers? Did they even broach 2 million, or are they still kind of like middling around 1.5, 1.3?
I was gonna say maybe 1.8 to 2 million probably.
Okay. At $9.99 a month. It's nothing to sneeze at.
Which is because you get the pay-per-views for $9.99 each month, and then those pay-per-views without them are like $35, $40. So.
Gotcha.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
I think that's good. Hey, we're trying your format of doing a pod within a 15-minute time frame, kicking the tires on it. Hey, best ways to get in contact with you.
Follow me on Twitter at Danny3 Thompson on Twitter. Check out my work at RealityAssociation.com. Follow the podcast, which is on places like Spotify, Spreaker, and YouTube, as well as iTunes as well too, and my work at ProPlayerInsiders.com.
Gotcha. Thank you, Danny.
My pleasure.